think it's in the immediately prior video, I promised to tell what I refer to as a crazy story. And it is. But this won't be to gossip or I'm not making fun of anybody. Not. It's it's by being so immersed and it being rather unusual to have someone who's fully Western, such as myself, living where I live in a place that's not Western at all. And to that point, generally the locals refer to me as, generally the locals refer to me as the, quote, only foreigner that lives here. There are obviously many other guys, and some do live here year round. The overwhelming majority, bye-bye mama, come and go. But you get the idea. It's they've gotten used to me, but I still, I was going to say frequently, I still almost constantly get staring wherever I walk, wherever I go. My point is it's an unusual peek you're getting through me into this dynamic. And you know how I'm always kind of saying like, it would benefit a guy when he's going back into the dating market here in Thailand to clean himself up and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes it sort of plays off on some people like I'm giving a recipe for a new kind of rocket fuel or something. But it's just the same thing you do back home. I mean, everybody when they go back into the dating pool, everybody kind of gets a haircut and makes an effort to maybe lose 10 pounds or at least or something. You know what I mean? It's just that. And yet, this does seem to be the secret formula for rocket fuel because very few people do it. I think a lot of guys just come here and they're just tired and they just want to just relax and they don't want to do a whole lot anymore. And I get that and that's fine. And then it doesn't bother me what somebody else decides to do. But I will say that if a guy's trying to like seriously re-enter the dating pool, then gee whiz, you really then probably should be in the camp where you're making some kind of effort. And this story is going to put a real fine point on that. So let me attempt to describe this and really respectfully. Obviously, I'll be and if I happen to use a name, it won't be the real one, and certain things are going to be obfuscated or deliberately described accurately in terms of the story, but I don't want anybody, you get the idea. So there's this story centers around two Thai women who are older but very attractive, and neither one's had plastic surgery. They're natural attractive. They're just genetically blessed people. They've got nice figures, really, really rare, nice figures, very pretty ladies. And there's it's kind of a small area where this happened. And there's a group of, and they were dating, one was married and still dating. A number of local Western guys, foreign resident retirees, as I like to describe us. I think that's a fair term. Dating or wishing to date or wishing to have a date with these ladies. And there's a few other ladies in the periphery, but it kind of centers around these two. I sort of saw this whole thing, and this sort of just happened because everybody likes to gossip, back in the States, and the Thais are just the same. And sometimes they think it's kind of fun to gossip with the Western guy because they don't really get to do that. That might be their only option for that one. And it's kind of fun. It's kind of cross-cultural. The term they use is sort of international. It's just something. If you're living in the village, it's kind of different to be sitting there chit-chatting with the American while you're having a coffee. You know what I mean? Fun was with me and not with me through some of this, that she has no part in the story whatsoever. I know a lot more of it than she does. A lot of the stuff is Fawn's right with me, so she knows just as much, and she knows some cultural influences on a thing that I would have never caught if she had not told me. Or this is a case where this all kind of mostly pretty much comes from just me. But it just sort of was a funny coincidence. One person saying the right thing to this person, to that person, gets back to me. And it was just, you ever have that happen where you really weren't involved in anything? Maybe you worked in a big workplace workplace environment or something, and an engineer bullpen or a factory floor, and you sort of end up being the guy that knows all the little bits and pieces of all, even though it had nothing to do with you. This is one of those. That's exactly what this is, But it's interesting because the one guy had married one of these very pretty, exceptionally pretty Thai women, and she didn't care. She didn't care. He became the very definition of a buffalo. And let me define Kwai is a buffalo. I'll put it on the screen. And it's an ugly word. You cannot use that word in public. And if you say that word to a Thai man, you may end up in a physical confrontation. Some people say it's equivalent to the MF word in English. But it's not a word you can throw around. They'll probably understand. You just don't know what you're talking about. But just don't say, hey, Rob said this is okay to say. I am not saying that's okay to say. It also refers to a man's personal business, the anatomy of a man. It also is used to reference that. Another reason another way in which it's a dirty word. But in this third and other use, it's used to indicate, typically, as I know, it's just a foreigner. It could be maybe a Thai man too, but typically, for our references, it's used to describe a foreigner, okay? A foreigner that's being turned into a beast of burden, because, Kwai means buffalo. And a buffalo does all the work and is dumb. A buffalo here is regarded as dumb and of no regard and just does work and ruins its own life or whatever to help other people because it's so dumb. It's an extremely uncomplimentary comparison. Okay, I want to make that clear. And she made this guy into a total buffalo. She insisted on a very expensive premium name brand car, which those are big money here. There's a 300% import tariff on things like that. This guy, for all the money that he used to have before meeting and marrying this lady, and then just the support to all the family. And I've seen this, I've told this with other examples. There was that guy, and I will say his real name, Robert. He's not here anymore. He wouldn't be able to understand this video if he was watching it because of the permanent brain damage he received from the beating he took from one of the adult male children of his wife when he wouldn't give any more money. So, and that's an ugly, and I want to point out, that's a real rare side of the Thai people. And the Thai people take great exception to that. They're as or more angry and disappointed at that kind of behavior than you and I are. This is how I have my channel. The real Thai people help me to show the real culture here, which is not women running around in bikinis having sex with men for money and having their family beat them when they don't give them enough money. That's like not called normal Thai behavior. That is not if you go to, I'll make this clear in defense of all my Thai friends here, you go to Pattaya or a tourist area or a sex district anywhere, that is not Thai culture. That's, you could argue, no culture. That is not what they do and not how they're like. Somebody might go there for a vacation and that's their personal business, but to say that that's all Thai women and no, absolutely not. All of the people that I know, all the good Thai women that I know, which 3/4 of them I know through phone, they don't drink, they don't use any foul language, they will not like publicly gossip another person. That's indecorous to do that. I mean, they're just extremely polite and reserved, and they're hard workers. They do all the work and honestly get less than their fair share of the benefit, in my opinion. So very good, humble people. This is not what we're talking about in this example. Well, the one lady is actually very nice, I think. Let's go back to the story. So the second really pretty lady, she did nothing wrong. She's actually a very nice person. She took an interest in one Western guy, and then another Western guy went and was really hitting on her all the time, leaning on her, and she would have nothing to do with it. And he offered her money and all kinds of stuff, and not moving. So actually, she's like a really good person. But back to this first really pretty lady, I mean, black-hearted. I mean, honestly, just black-hearted. She did not like, and she fought her husband for speaking Thai, and she won that battle. He eventually gave up and doesn't speak Thai. He did a little bit for a while, and then he just kind of gave up. She fought hard on that, and I have overheard her say things before like that, and I had overheard her once say something like that about me, that nobody needs to be teaching me or helping me learn the language. That's a pretty black-hearted thing to say. Somebody comes here and they're trying to navigate their way in a culture, and for someone to say that's not very nice. I just pretended like I didn't hear it, and what am I? Am I the social crusader here? What am I going to do? And I see who she is. She revealed herself for what she truly is, or was. I haven't seen her in a long time, but you get the idea. But what's interesting, though, is there was, to get to the short of the whole thing, so you got a couple of really pretty ladies, one nice, one really not nice. There's a couple other ladies in the periphery who are all relatively attractive, but not like the two stunners in this prime example. These first two ladies are like, any older guy would be very interested in these two. But the interesting part is the guys. Amongst the Westerners, there was like a handful of guys dating in this area, and the women kind of knew each other. Some of the guys knew each other. I got in that weird, by just a total bunch of coincidences, I ended up kind of knowing almost everybody in this. Well, I did end up knowing everybody in the whole story. That's how I can tell the story. And what's the punchline is that there was one guy who had cleaned himself up and looked good, and spoke more than a little bit of Thai, but made an effort. You know what I'm saying? And he had good success dating. And there was another guy who didn't speak a lick of Thai, but dressed nice, was polished, was a gentleman. Not a native English speaker, but did speak English. And I bumped into the guy at a couple of different resorts and things. Just the same freaking guy. But he was very wealthy, and he made it pretty clear that everybody that knew him knew he was known as a wealthy man. He didn't hide it. Not that you have to, but he certainly didn't hide it in any way. And he had great success with all this. And then there was, and everybody else of the Westerners trying to date in this little pool here. None of them had any. Well, one got turned into a buffalo, and then the other ones all got like the no-go. They were rebuffed left, right, and center. They ended up with nothing. And then there was one of them ended up being kind of reviled. And he was a handsome guy, but he spoke zero Thai. But he spoke about the Thais all the time. He was a dutuk guy, big dutuker. Dutuk here is a bad thing. I should tell you, in Thailand, gossip, like you and I, as an American, I might be back home and I might talk with her. And, yeah, I got a little gossip to share with you. Hey, I hate to be a gossip, but I did see that guy over there was being a real jerk or something. You know what I mean? You would say that in normal conversation. Here it isn't like that. The word gossip, which translates to dutuk, which means to look cheap. Dutuk, to look cheap. It is to look down on another person, and then you do that with your words. So it's to talk badly about somebody, and the translation that comes up for that in English is gossip. I think it's a kind of a mistranslation, honestly, but you should know that the whole gossip thing is taken real seriously here. And it has legal weight, by the way. I should tell you that's I go deep dive on that in my book. You cannot run around gossiping Thai people. If you do that, and you make a big enough thing of it, and there's maybe people that don't like you, and if you're doing that, there will be people that don't like you. They can have you dragged into the police station and explain yourself, and then you can be looking at penalties. You're not going to like any of that. Trust me. I saw that once firsthand at the police station and everything. I was called in as a character witness for a woman called me in as a character witness, which was a compliment as a Western guy. But ugly stuff. So be wary of the dutuk. But this dutuk guy, he did very poorly. Ended up being hated. And honestly, I was almost expecting that I'd find his house burned down one day or something. I mean, those people that think they're smarter than everybody, and they run around saying whatever they want to anybody all the time. They just think they're somehow superior to everybody. They're really annoying people, and he's one of those. He just everywhere he goes, he's the only person that knows anything, and he's the smartest guy. And then he constantly makes like Thai jokes, like negative they're not funny jokes at the Thai people's expense. Like, I mean, I immediately got uncomfortable, and I like parted company, and I avoid the guy. He had he hosted a big celebration, a tetsagan, somewhere. I'm not even going to say where, and I was invited, and man, I didn't go, and if somebody would have said we'll pay you $1,000 US cash if you go, I wouldn't have gone. I would not want to be publicly associated with that man. His reputation is absolutely terrible in this area. His word is mud. I have a good reputation here, as far as I am aware. Yeah, there's people that are jealous. There's people that badmouth me because they're upset that it's no longer funny to make fun of the foreigner living in the tiny little rental room with his back pain and recovering from his back surgery. Ha. Now he's built himself up. They call it a kadohat, a mansion, and it's not. As I've said before, my house is actually a small house. It looks big because I wanted the tall ceilings, and I stacked the roofs like the Sydney Opera House. I always thought that was really cool. I did the, metal sheet roof, poor man's version of the Sydney Opera House. This was where the roof structure idea came from, by the way. It's exactly what I was looking at. I just like that layered roof thing, and when you do that, I didn't intend it. I just like it was pretty, and I did. Or ran architectural projects for other people for 8 years, and I just wanted to do one for me before I was in the dirt. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, some people are now pissed that the guy that lived in the, what was it called? The Bankeprunu. The house is narrow as a mouse hole. And now he's got a kadohat. Yeah, it's not funny anymore. Well, that's too freaking bad. And I don't care, but you get the idea. So, but my reputation is generally good, and I like to keep it that way. So back to these guys. So what's the lesson? So it was just kind of a weird story. There was maybe 7 or 8 people total involved. The 2 really pretty women, a couple of other ladies in the periphery, and then this maybe handful of guys. And the 2 that did well, and everybody else didn't. And then one ended up with this terrible reputation. Nobody will touch that guy. And so what's the lesson for you? What do you care? Okay, Rob, kind of crazy little gossipy, funny story. And there's plenty of the Peyton's Place people sleeping with each other back and forth and this and that. Same as in America, same as here. And here everyone's retired and's got money and free time. So it's even more. It's the same as you hear in those retirement communities in Florida. You hear people are sleeping around more and this and that. Same thing here, okay? And I'm not going to get into that because it's the same old story you already know, and that's just gossip. My point for you is that the 2 guys that did well dressed nice. I mean, they wore dress shirts, like a nice man's, collared, buttoned, proper shirt, not a flannel, a proper shirt every day. Slacks, long pants, nice jeans, dress jeans, whatever. And real shoes. If there was some kind of a sneaker, it was like a nicer kind of thing. I saw the one guy in dress shoes like almost all the time. He looked like he just came out of a bank, and that was the rich guy. He probably could own a bank. And as I understand, he's pretty disgustingly wealthy, and everybody knows that about him. But he's a decent looking guy, and very polished and gentlemanly, and he's rich. And hey, he did well. Oh, that's so weird, Rob. Thanks for the radical new information. And then the other guy is known to have some money as well, and he's kind of handsome, and he dresses nice. So those 2 guys did real well. And so the lesson for you is, I just think it's the same old thing. I mean, I think if you're dating back home, everybody knows to clean themselves up and go buy a new shirt and, shave before you go on a date and put on some aftershave or something. Have a shower before you go on a date. The majority of foreign men that I see here I have not shaved in several days. I did the stubble thing back in Detroit, and I thought that was kind of cool. It's a Detroit thing. We do kind of the grungy sort of, you can be sort of the tough guy with 3 days of stubble and whatever, and that I did that. But here, I immediately started shaving. The ladies would look at you, and they even touch my face like, what do you, and I quickly got the hint that I needed to be shaving every time before I went on a date. And now it's a habit. I shave every morning, right when I wake up, I'll brush my teeth, shave, make some coffee, all that. So let me see if I can run it down. You would, if you're going to be entering the dating market here and you're looking for a wife or girl, a steady girl, even on a pay for play, you'll get a little more regard if you clean yourself up, so you're just not embarrassing the lady. Like moment by moment and continual time, every moment she's standing next to you. It'd still be better to clean yourself up, in all honesty. But certainly, if you're looking for a partner of any kind, you want to clean yourself up. So I would say Thai style haircut, something kind of like, I don't have much of a haircut. I don't have a whole lot of hair anymore, but short on the sides and do whatever you want on the top is pretty much anything goes in Thailand if you do that. If you do anything other than that, then you need to be rocking it as part of some kind of specific look. And if you're particularly handsome or you've got, features that look good a certain way and a different kind of hairstyle complements that, then hey, good for you, then go do that. And generally no gray hair unless you're 80 years old, and I'm being serious. Again, unless you can pull it off. I've got a friend here that is a handsome guy. He looks like a retired Hollywood movie star. It's exactly what he looks like. His hair is white. It isn't even gray. It's white. And all the ladies, wherever we go, we bump into a friend, somebody like, oh my God, your friend is so handsome. I mean, they're all over him, and it's hilarious. And he's not a playboy. He's got a wife. He married her, and she's a very nice lady. And the wife laughs, he laughs. It's just funny. I mean, everybody likes a little attention, and it's not a problem. But no gray hair unless you can really rock it. You can see I just stick with my blonde hair. I lighten it a little bit because it gets dark now as I've gotten older, but I still have no gray hair. I have a little bit in the temples, you can see, and that's it. I'm super late to get gray hair. I don't know, it's weird. And let's see, what else should you be doing? And then nice clothes. I would wear like a polo shirt. They have these really nice polo shirts here. I like the brand Giordano, but you get whatever you like. That's kind of a Thai style here. I think those are to me, I know when I wear one, I get like a lot of compliments on them. I know that. And then, or like a button down. And they have like the Playboy brand, which I think is hilarious. And they have a whole bunch of these nice casual shirt brands. If you're in Karat, go to Central Plaza, which they say Centron because you cannot end a Thai word in an L sound. That'll never happen. And at Centron, at Central Plaza. And they have on the second floor, they have a big men's department on the one end of it's a big oval racetrack shaped thing on 4 levels. And on the second level on the one end, there's a big men's store. Fantastic high quality shirts there. Best quality shirts you're going to find probably anywhere. They're really, really nice. And I get these Guy Laroche and other stuff like that. Really nice. Sharp, dress sharp. And then here, jeans is all you need is jeans. I'm a jeans guy, so I just get away with jeans. If you wear actual slacks, bonus points for you, that's going to look better. That'll look better, in all honesty. But if I wear a nice pair of jeans, I feel like I'm doing okay. And I just have like really nice slip-on type loafer sneakers because bending down to tie a shoe is really tough for me. But I could be doing better in the shoes. I kind of go a little light on the shoe end. I do have one pair of actual real men's shoes from like the 1950s, dress shoes, and I wear those once in a rare while when I'm going out. And then that does look a lot better, in all honesty. But dressing the part, shaving, cleaning yourself up. But man, the Thai culture is to bathe at least every morning and every night. And it's been stressed to me by all of my Thai friends. That is the bare minimum. If you've exercised, done yard work, taken a walk, we're 60. You're going to sweat. Your body's going to be smelly after a little bit. Any kind of exertion, you're going to be smelly. Always take a bath before a shower or whatever before you go on a date. You want to, and use the baby powder. The baby powder is a big thing here. I got new glasses. I always keep like good, reasonable glasses. And then I always say 1 piece of Thai gold, no more than 2. And just to show you get the culture and to show that, yeah, you do have a couple bucks because there's a lot of deadbeat Westerners here come hustling the ladies, and they don't like that. Women like a man that can support them. I hate to, again, I'm dropping truth bombs here. It's crazy. But if you just wear 1 decent piece of gold, or 2 at the most, it just shows that maybe you got a buck or 2. And hey, you understand Thai gold in the culture maybe a little bit. To me, that's the right play. I've had my friends here tell me that's a tasteful way to do it. But you can do what you want. Obviously, it matters not to me. And then transportation. Motorcycles are very stylish here. But if you're dating, you probably want a proper car at some point. I mean, I love my motorcycle. And if I was dating and I picked up a lady and my Harley Davidson, I think the date would be going pretty darn good. But in all honesty, I mean, a car is just going to make more sense. I will warn you on cars. 2-door cars are considered selfish. So you should get a 4-door. Or we just bought a 5-door. But a 4 or 5-door car, not a 2 or 3-door, hatchback being a door, obviously. And then on color, the bright colors aren't, unless it's like a sports car, which are also considered selfish unless it's a Porsche. Then it's considered you're really rich and they want to date you. But that's how that works, by the way. But generally, like yellow, red, bright colors, that's not a thing here. That's real rare. Generally, it's white, gray, silver. They have some really cool shades of gray. I mean, I like that battleship gray that was like a big thing in the 2010s with the American muscle cars. I think that fad kind of went, but here it's still kind of it's playing. It plays well here. I like that battleship gray thing. And then black. Black's a big flex here. If you have a black car and then you just pay to get it detailed once a week, so it's shiny and black because this place is dusty and the roads are kind of dirty. So if you have a black car and it's clean, huge flex. So if I was dating, and I just personally wouldn't buy a black car because of those reasons, but I would advise you, your best play would be to get like a cool looking 4-door black car of some kind, or the 4-door pickup trucks are real popular here. The sports cars here are the pickup trucks. That's the sports car here. The sports cars, yeah, hey Rob, I saw a Porsche last week. I saw a Ferrari. Yeah, there's extreme wealth individuals, the 1/1000th of 1%ers, and that's a whole other thing. And if you're one of those, then you really don't need my channel. Go buy your Ferrari and you'll get a date. But generally, the pickup trucks are the sports cars here. They don't really have a lot of actual sports cars other than the giant mega flex or gigaflex status symbols that I just mentioned. That's this dating story, and the results of that are exactly what I just told you about things that would help you. And then if you learn a little bit about Thai culture and then learn about a why, when you why, you only why somebody younger than you. They why you first. You just why back a little bit down here, just a little short, and just bow a little bit like that. You don't have to say, Sawadee krap, or you just, you can just English, thank you. Nice to meet you. They know you're a foreigner. If you try to out-Thai the Thai person, what's that? So I speak Thai reasonably well, and when I'm greeting people, I do it 3/4 in English. I'll throw, if they don't know me that well, I'll throw in a little something just so they know that I speak, and just so they know they're meeting somebody other than a Falang Tamada, which is a typical foreigner, which I do work to separate myself from. I do. And all my friends here do the exact same. They all say the exact same thing. They put in a specific effort to separate themselves, differentiate themselves from these typical stereotypes of us here, which is not great. And then they also look at it as I do. We all say the same thing, trying to be like a representative of our Western culture that, hey, some of us are respectful and polite and reasonable. We're not all like wild bar fighting alcoholics, because that's kind of the stereotype. So you want to, if there's a stereotype that's well known about you that's not good, about your people that look like you, most people will make an effort to push back against that. You know what I mean? That's just a thing, right? I give you a dozen examples of that, but I don't need to. You already know that. But that was a crazy story. I promised I'd tell it. It was just interesting because it was so predictable how it turned out. The two guys that cleaned themselves up, they were dating anybody they wanted, and everything was great for them. And the other guys were, oh gosh, this isn't working. Oh, not laughing at anybody, but the results were extremely different by individual. So some guys were having a great time, and some guys weren't. I mean, you can pick which group you'd like to be in, I guess. There you go. Yeah, I made a point. All right, I'll end the video. Thanks. If you watched my buying a car video, I got this moved from here, which had this horrible reflection. It was very distracting to drive. I got Fawn to agree that would be just as lucky to put over there. And then I got the other crap out of the car, which was not safe. And then now I got this on my steering wheel as of a couple hours ago. Fawn's 2 aunts came over and put that on. So I don't know. Hello. Oh, Tema.
Thank you for Christmas.
Cost a ticker Elpard. We're talking about something that's going to be the subject of an upcoming video. This is how the channel happens. But a top jai kaupu. Jai di ma. Very impressed with what somebody just said to Fawn, a person that I know. And I kind of knew it already, but to get like a total blatant complete confirmation after a period of time, now it's going on the channel. This is Rob. Video's over. I'm closing my gate. But if you've been liking or subscribing, or and praise God if you've been a member of the channel. I really appreciate you. I appreciate everyone that watches. You have a great day.